An October hurricane is coming up.
And you know what's interesting is that Florida actually has been hit the most times in October, not during the peak of hurricane season.
People
September.
do not think of that.
They do not. They don't think of what else is going on with Ana or Gonzalo or all these crazy storms. So we got to get to your tropical update.
Yeah, one in the Indian Ocean as well. Hurricane specialist Dr. Greg Postel in the lab.
Thanks, guys. Let's have a look at the overview kind of in the Western Hemisphere. And you got, as you were mentioning, tropical or post-tropical storm Ana, which could impact the northwest United States. I'll look at that in a second. But I also want to look at Invest 94L. This is in the Caribbean Sea because this one, you know, it's holding on. I mean, it's trying its absolute hardest to get going, but it's having a really difficult time. In an area of showers and thunderstorms with a little low pressure there, has a 20% chance of turning into a depression or a named storm over the next 5 days, as it kind of really doesn't move a whole lot. But the area that we're talking about is right in there. You can see even a recent flare-up of some storms. Overall, the conditions right now are not right for this thing to go. I mean, the winds aloft are strong, and there's a front down there, which not that front so much, but the cold air behind it has actually really filtered its way southward into the region. And I wouldn't really say cold for Caribbean, but for them, it's drier and kind of fall-like. So we add all that up and you think this thing doesn't have much of a chance, but we'll keep an eye on it in case the winds aloft begin to weaken and the air mass around it becomes a little bit more humid. That could happen in the next couple of days. Stay tuned for that. Let's now have a look at post-tropical cyclone Ana, the one in the Pacific. This is the final advisory from the Central Pacific Hurricane Center, 60-mile-per-hour winds. But look at it right now. I mean, it's hardly distinguishable from any of the other cloud swirlies that are out there. There's no really core of thunderstorms driving it anymore like you'd have with a tropical system. That's why it's a post-tropical system. It's really feeding off the jet stream, but still it is kind of going in this direction, and the Central Pacific Hurricane Center decided to keep this cone up to let people know that even though it's not a tropical system, it's going to bring some pretty windy weather in combination with a large low pressure system moving through. So Monday night, Tuesday morning, we have winds of 60, 50 mile per hour in gusts at some of those higher elevations. Some of that is thanks in part to Ana and that sort of remnant system moving through, because you can see it kind of loses itself in the main jet stream energy. There's a lot of other stuff out here that kind of takes over, but still, when you add everything up together, you come up with the idea that there's going to be strong low pressure with some onshore gusty winds and maybe even some mountain snows. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Doc. And how about this? Park rangers at one of America's most popular state parks say bears are wandering into populated areas, and it's all because of California's drought.
You're taking a live look at Yosemite National Park. Yeah, folks, that's live. That's how beautiful it is. Gorgeous there. No bears there on the screen right now, but the search for food and water is leading bears to new territory.
And it's not great news for tourists or campers in the park, because episodes of bears showing up in campgrounds is up 35% since January compared to last year.
Yeah, officials say that the drought is what's cutting off the supply of berries and other food and forcing those bears to expand their horizons, unfortunately, to where the humans are.
Yeah, you know what? Whether you're a human or a bear, I think you're going to like this forecast. Plenty of sunshine, upper 40s, low to mid 50s, right on through the weekend into early next week.
Keep those picnic baskets safe.
All right, Boo Boo, I will. You know, we're watching the weather this week because Halloween quickly approaching, and for some, you might need to think about a warmer costume.
That's right. Trick or sleet? What? Some parts of the country will be seeing some wintry weather. We're going to time it out for you after your local on the 8th.
Currently in our area, 81 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, mostly sunny. High 80. Winds north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear. Low 67. Winds north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Monday, generally sunny. High 81. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
October, a notorious time of year in the eastern U.S. Remember this? Buffalo's devastating Friday the 13th snowstorm in 2006. Right on cue, a Halloween week storm is taking shape. That's why we have storm specialist Dr. Greg Postel with an in-depth analysis on the multitude of potential impacts from the Great Lakes to the Northeast and the Southeast.
And it's not just the northeastern quadrant. How about the northwest? Hurricane force winds? Oof. Kiddie pools flying, trees flying. Strong trees even that have been there for decades. Find out what Mother Nature has up her sleeve for today.
And tornado season sure has roared back to life this month. Tornado expert Dr. Greg Forbes gives us the twister tally for October and warns us why we can't let down our guards as we head into November. That's right here, right now on Weather Center Live. Welcome back to Weather Center Live. I'm Kate Parker.
And I'm Mark Elliott. And as always, during this part of the weekend, we're talking directly to you. We want to see what you're up to. Send us pictures of what your weekend looks like. And you, on social media, can use the hashtag #YourWeekend.
We got some good ones today. In fact, from our very good friend, Sammy. Sammy is a meteorologist in training. She's been here to the Weather Channel, and she's there on the left. That's her with her sister. And Sammy is dressed up like a meteorologist from the Weather Channel. Can you see her shirt? It has a high pressure, we got a low pressure, we got a little hurricane on there.
Weather Channel badge, Weather Channel hat is on. She's ready to go.
I love your costume.
I'd love to hear the interview with the sister, though, and bring that all back to the weather.
Yeah, that would have been cute. How exactly does the weather affect your zombieism?
When it's too hot, the brains go bad.
Oh, yes, that's a clear indication that it's a bit too warm. October, bad rap for storms as well, not just the warmth that we're seeing right now.
And for good reason. Remember this? Snowtober back in 2011, also known as the Halloween nor'easter. It canceled trick-or-treating for many people. 3.2 million homes and businesses in 12 different states lost power. Some parts of Connecticut were without power for 11 days, and damage estimates ranged from $1 to $3 billion with a B dollars.
And even going even farther back in history, 2006, yeah, we've got the notorious BIG storm, October, Friday the 13th. That was in Buffalo. Dramatic, crippling event. Obviously, a little bit out of season, a little bit early. 7th greatest snowfall on record for Buffalo, 22.6 inches at the airport. How's that sound for trick-or-treating?
Not so good.
No bueno.
Not so good at all.
No
of course, there's still a lot of question marks about how this week's Halloween storm will play out. And so we're going to the expert.
We have to bring in our very own storm specialist, Dr. Greg Postel, breaking down what exactly is going on in the models and why we think there could be a storm later this week.
Yeah, you know, for the last couple of days, they've been kind of showing us hints that there'd be a trough in the east and a warm air ridge in the west. I mean, we know that that's kind of been the flavor for the last couple of days. And, you know, the question is, what does that mean for everybody? And typically when you have the trough in the east and the ridge in the west, it's pretty cold in the east and colder than average. And I think that's what's going to happen this time around, guys.
Yeah, so we're looking for the ingredients, right? We want cold air, we want moisture if we're going to have a storm. So you have to look at the models to see if we're going to have either or both of those.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So, but the problem is this is kind of more than a couple of days out. We're looking almost 4, 5, 6 days out. And you run into problems when you rely on one model that far into the future. And here's why. Here's a map or a plot of the forecast accuracy really as a function of time. So time going out that way, see day 4, 6, 8. And here's good, fair, and really no better than just looking up on your calendar and finding out what the average temperature is. The idea is that for no matter what model you choose, the skill goes down dramatically at about day 5, 6, and 7. So when you start looking out that far, you might as well look at your calendar if you're just going to look at one model. So how do you reconcile that? You know, guys, it's like, what do we do when we come up with that, when we try to look ahead beyond 4 and 5 days?
Because we obviously do. We have 7 or 10 or 14-day forecasts, and people have to plan on this.
Yeah, and we're trying to make ourselves better as meteorologists, challenging ourselves. So what are the models saying?
Yeah, well, what you have to do is you have to understand that the reason why there's that degradation in skill is because the models aren't perfect from the start. We know that. And so the idea is that since you don't know what the starting conditions are, you run the model a whole bunch of times to try to get that right starting point. And if you do that and you come up with a consensus, then you think, well, maybe it's going to end up like that.
So for what we're looking at here is the forecast from a model for the jet stream, and then a slightly changed forecast for where that jet stream will be and run it through time. And so even though they change those conditions, they're reasonably close right there.
That's exactly right. I mean, there's a consensus for this weekend of a trough in the eastern third of the country. And when you start to build that confidence, you get the sense that, all right, I think I know what's going to happen. And what's likely going to happen is that we will see some pretty chilly air, perhaps the coldest air of the season, coming into the Northeast. And if you look at our official forecast, which tries to blend all that stuff together, and I think we do a really good job of that here at the Weather Channel, that's our forecast for Friday. Look at that, Chicago 44.
Okay, so the trick-or-treaters need to have a backup plan. It's not going to be warm like this weekend.
Yeah, instead of wearing like a thin sheet for a ghost, put on a thick
blanket, woolly blanket, and boots, and with the fur.
That's what I do
as well. You need that.
Why not?
Rocks that look.
Yeah. Well, you know where you don't need the boots with the fur today?
Where, Kate?
Atlanta, Georgia. Take a look at this. 79 degrees. That record high is in the mid 80s, and also we've got like attack of the bugs going on our screen. So, not a. Did you know that wasps were still hanging out this late in October? Oh yeah. All right. Yeah. Apparently. Yeah. They do. These are not, stay calm, Atlanta. Those are not pterodactyls. They're just wasps up by the camera. All right, heat moving east. So it was really warm in Texas as well as in Oklahoma over the last couple of days. Now Atlanta really going to be centered on that bubble of warmth, that ridge. We've got a record high of 85 today. Looks like our forecast is going to be in the low 80s. So again, we're getting up close to those record highs. It doesn't look like we're going to break them, but we could. In some spots, we'll be looking out. Marietta, you're at 77 degrees right now. Stone Mountain, 76 degrees currently, and across the south it is a beautiful summer day. Nope, definitely fall. Definitely doesn't feel like it in Little Rock. 82 degrees currently. Charlotte's at 79 degrees right now. We've got this beautiful high pressure. Hello, friend. This is what our little friend is that keeps us nice and beautiful. The cold air staying to the north, or at least cooler air hanging out along that jet stream. We've got a little boundary there, but that's not going to be causing too much problems for us because that warm air is moving east and then it's moving north, and you are going to feel some nice starts to the week across the eastern half of the U.S. Mark?
Wish we could bring that ridge to the Pacific Northwest, which still is in cleanup mode. Folks are spending their Sunday cleaning up damage from wind, and more wind could be on the way. Details next.
When he first joined the Army, I was very nervous.
We didn't know what they would have him doing, but Bobby always had a plan.
With unmatched training in over 150 careers beyond the battlefield, there are over 150 surprising ways to become Army strong. Talk to your son or daughter about opportunities in the Army.
There's a reason no one says easy like Monday morning. Sundays are the Warriors' day to unplug and recharge. What if this feeling could last all week? With CenturyLink as your trusted partner, it can. Our visionary cloud infrastructure and global broadband network free you to focus on what matters. With custom communication solutions and dedicated support, your business can shine all week long. CenturyLink, your link to what's next.
It's just freaking me out.
If you missed tonight on the Weather Channel,
this is crazy.
You'll never know how twisted weather can be.
Is it real?
Yeah, it's real.
Wicked Weather Sundays with strangest weather on Earth and American Supernatural. Tonight at 9, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 81 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, mostly sunny. High 80. Winds north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear. Low 67. Winds north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Monday, generally sunny. High 81. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
See the weather
like never before.
Look at this! Listen to that!
Amazing starts here. The Weather Channel Mornings.
I like to mix things up a bit with Grand's Mini Pot Pies. Only 4 ingredients and a few easy steps. Weeknight dinner in a flash, and my family devours them. Pillsbury Grand's biscuits make dinner pop.
Can you start tomorrow?
Tomorrow, we're booked solid.
We close on the house tomorrow.
Tomorrow, we go live.
It's a day full of promise. And often, that day arrives by train.
Big day today? Even bigger one tomorrow.
CSX, how tomorrow moves.
Some question physics. Some question gravity. And some even have the audacity to question improbability. With best-in-class towing and best-in-class torque, these are some of the bold new Ram commercial trucks built to blow your imagination. Guts, glory, Ram.
Bridgestone's new Drive Guard tires are engineered to take a puncture and go up to 50 miles.
We can drive 50 miles on a flat, and you have an app that makes nails pop up?
Yep.
We could rule the world. But I've got carpool at 3, though, so
that time
we could, mess with the world.
Introducing York Minis. A bite-sized new way to enjoy the full-size sensation of peppermint and rich dark chocolate. New York Minis. Get the sensation.
High winds whipping through Washington state last night, gusting close to 50 miles per hour in some areas. It's in fact Seattle. Look at those traffic lights. My goodness, I'd almost be afraid to drive underneath them. Several reports of downed trees across the area. Statewide, over 70,000 customers were without power earlier today, and we're still seeing huge power outage numbers.
So you think that's bad in Seattle? Look at this. Yeah, that's in Oregon. Kiddie pool is going flying. The trees were going flying. The branches going flying. This was in Hillsborough. That was about 20 miles outside of Portland, where the high winds roughed up those tree branches. Look at that baby pool. It is torn up. Thousands still without power today. The trees getting knocked down as a result of the winds gusting around 45 miles an hour or higher in spots. And, you know, if you get all that rain, it is very easy to uproot some trees. And that's exactly what we saw.
Yeah, people are out there cleaning up debris from the storm damage today because of tree damage like this. I mean, just
right.
Neighborhood after neighborhood.
So what you're looking at here, you can see that obviously those had extensive root systems, but if you look at those trees, it's behind you, you can see those roots.
The root ball.
Sorry, the video keeps moving. But what happened is that the soil became completely saturated, and when that occurs, it's very easy. You get a 45-mile wind gust, that'll take over any of these trees because of the leaves as well.
Plus, this part of the country often gets huge windstorms, but they very often happen in winter. So in Beaverton, when they had all the leaves still on the trees, they act like little parachutes and help those trees come down. So the saturated grounds plus the time of year created a lot of wind damage. And of course, Portland right now, not too bad. Although, is that Portland? I guess so. Yeah.
It looks wet. Looks like some raindrops there on the camera, but we are really just looking at a big body of water.
Yeah, but it's still breezy. There's still some rain showers, and unfortunately, that is the next round of rain showers out ahead of the next big storm. Here we go again, Kate.
Again and again and again. All right, the Pacific Northwest, how about some more soakers? Well, here's the deal. You need this, but what we need is slow and steady rain. We don't need it all this quickly. It's been, like you said, short-term very wet, long-term severe drought. In fact, we're about actually the same as last week, 56% still in severe drought.
Yeah, so we'll take the rain, but you know, when you see these kind of bands going over the same areas again and again and again, plus you add the wind to that, that's when we really get into the problem. So we're seeing that rain along I-5. We're also seeing the onshore flow into Washington and eventually Seattle. You'll get another round of this rain coming in towards you.
And then you go into the higher elevations. That's where you see snow as well. So the Cascades, you're actually going to be seeing up to a foot of snow in spots over the course of a week. So good news for skiers, but but it's not going to be pleasant outside for very long.
Yeah, that was storm system number 1. Here we go at number 2. Another powerhouse storm system is off the coast. This thing is going to give us deja vu all over again. It almost looks like the same exact setup as this time last week.
And we got all that moisture moving onshore. You're going to see the same problems that you have seen as this low develops. It's going to take this moisture, it's going to chug it on into the Pacific Northwest, which means once again you're under the risk of seeing some of those trees toppled over, branches torn down, especially once the winds get going.
Yeah, and watch the wind numbers right here in Newport. 35, 40, then jumping to 50, and then jumping to 60 miles per hour. So widespread coastal winds that could be strong enough to create damage.
And those are sustained winds greater than tropical storm strength.
Yeah, gusts could be significantly higher than that.
So we could definitely see those gusts that are going to be a problem. Again, mountain snow expected. It's still going to just be wet. We're talking all the way into the middle part of this week at the very least.
Yeah, and several more inches of rain near the coast. Plus, we're still looking for that severe threat to kick in. The October tornado threat, not done yet.
Yeah, that's why our severe weather expert, Dr. Greg Forbes, is going to break down live this month some more twisters than normal and what we might see in November.
And Anna is still trekking through the Pacific Northwest, at least what's left of it. Get ready, Northwest Coast.
Let's take these piggies out for new carpet. No, not those. These. Let's get in touch with texture. Something with a twist. Let's look at loops and get a feel for patterns in all sorts of colors. But let's not break the bank. Then, let's get it rolled out right. The perfect carpet? Yeah. Let's bring it all the way home. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Schedule a measure today. Carpet installation is now just $37.
What if there was a credit card where the reward was that new car smell and the freedom of the open road? A card that gave you that I'm 16 and just got my first car feeling. Presenting the Buy Power card from Capital One. Redeem earnings toward part or even all of a new Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, or Cadillac with no limits. So every time you use it, you're not just shopping for goods. You're shopping for something great. Learn more at buypowercard.com.
Many Americans who have prescriptions fail to stay on them. That's why we created programs which encourage people to take their medications regularly. So join us as we raise a glass to everyone who remembered today. Bottoms up, America. See you tomorrow. Same time. Another innovation from CVS Health. Because health is everything.
What do you mean homeowners insurance doesn't cover floods?
A few inches of water caused all this?
But I don't even live near the water.
What you don't know about flood insurance may shock you, including the fact that a preferred risk policy starts as low as $129 a year. For an agent, call 1-888-RAIN-914.
Monday morning on America's Morning Headquarters, it's 5 times more poisonous than a rattlesnake's bite. And soggy, cool conditions help these critters multiply as you're home at risk. Plus, weather-themed do-it-yourself costumes just in time for Halloween.
You're driving along, having a perfectly nice day, when out of nowhere, a pickup truck slams into your brand new car. 1 second, it wasn't there, and the next second, boom, you had your first accident. Now you have to make your first claim. So you talk to your insurance company, and boom, you're blindsided for a second time. They won't give you enough money to replace your brand new car. Don't those people know you're already shaken up?
Liberty Mutual's new car replacement will pay for the entire value of your car, plus depreciation. Call 1-888-731-2166. And for drivers with accident forgiveness, Liberty Mutual won't raise your rates due to your first accident. Switch to Liberty Mutual Insurance and you could save up to $423. Call Liberty Mutual for a free quote today at 1-888-731-2166. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Free 1000. Ready for a new breed of broker? There's a name for people like you. Trade King. Switch today.
See the weather like never before.
Look at this! Listen to that!
Amazing starts here. The Weather Channel Mornings.
Currently in our area, 80 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, mostly sunny. High 80. Winds north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear. Low 67. Winds north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Monday, generally sunny. High 81. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Well, we were in a tornado drought for much of 2014, but October changed the game. Tornado expert Dr. Greg Forbes breaks down the tornado tally and shows us why November is no time to let your guards down.
Because of the outbreak of more than 40 tornadoes back in mid-October, this month is actually above average for number of tornadoes. It's just the second time in 2014, the previous in June. Here's what the numbers look like. October through the 24th, we've had 69 preliminary tornadoes. That's 57% above the average to this date, which would be 44, and more than the whole month typically averages, which is 57. So, like I say, we're going to be above average. Here's what the year-to-date total looks like. 820 tornadoes, that's a lot, but it's 31% below the 10-year average of 1,191. So we've had a lot of tornadoes, but fortunately, we have been below average. We'll hope it continues that way, but not necessarily so. What does November typically hold? Well, if you look at the big picture of things, on average, we go from 57 tornadoes in October down to 55 in November, but that doesn't necessarily tell the whole story. Certainly, it's way down from the peak month, which is typically the month of May, but it does not tell the whole story because sometimes some Novembers can have big outbreaks that give 2 or 3 times the average. Look at this outbreak back in November 1992. That one had 105 tornadoes, and all 5 of these rank in the 50 biggest tornado outbreaks for any month in the United States. So while every November is not very active, sometimes with that Gulf of Mexico moisture being drawn northward by low pressure systems and the jet stream coming south, kind of like what happens in the spring, we can get big tornado outbreaks. So don't let your guard down. Keep checking the weather and stay safe. Back to you.
Okay, Dr. Forbes. Now we're going to go from Dr. Greg Forbes to Dr. Greg Postel. I know it gets very confusing, but both in the lab. And Dr. Postel's with Mark right now talking about the tropics.
Yeah, you know, you can see a little bit of everything this time of year. We still can have tornado season, but it's still the end of tropical season, especially on the other side of the world where we can often see storms this time of year.
We have a tropical storm here in the Arabian Sea, and it may strengthen to a hurricane over the next day or two. On its way kind of to the north, we think. It's right now estimated to have 65-mile-per-hour winds, and there's the name. Do you want to try to pronounce that?
I didn't even see it, to tell you the truth.
Right here.
I believe it's Nilofar.
That'll work?
I'm going to take a stab at it. I don't really know.
That'll work. And notice that the official forecast, it has it up at 85 miles per hour. Of course, again, we don't know exactly how strong it is. There are no aircraft going in there. These are all done by satellites. Sometimes they're pretty good, those satellite estimates, but the idea is that it's going to curve northward and then eastward, more like into Pakistan or India rather than Yemen or Oman like we were thinking a couple of days ago.
And we can see some significant flood events with slow-moving storms across that portion of the world, so that's certainly something to watch, even if the wind isn't the factor.
I think that's probably going to be the case with that one. So now let's turn our attention to Invest 94L. This is in the Caribbean Sea, kind of close to home,
Close
right?
to home, and looking a little bit more organized at this point than it had for the past day or so, anyway.
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, it's got a 20% chance right now, according to the Hurricane Center, of turning into a depression or a named storm over the next 5 days. And that sounds about right. I mean, right now, there's a lot of unfavorable conditions around it. You look at the satellite pictures, guys, there's a lot of strong wind aloft right out here. But also notice inside of that strong wind aloft, there's some pretty big thunderstorms in there. So
yeah, and if you watch that area, you can almost pick out a bit of a counterclockwise spin trying to form in that area.
Right. We've had a cold front down there that's now beginning to dissipate, but the idea is some cooler and fall-like air for the Caribbean, not Chicago style, has moved into the region and kind of cleared things out. Notice how it's almost cloud-free up here. That's kind of post-cold frontal air. But still, there is, at the tip of that front, wherever it was, right down here, there's a little bit of a twirling in the wind. So we'll just watch that for a couple days.
And that's a typical way that storms can form across this portion of the world this time of year, is along those old stalled out fronts.
Right. You can sometimes get little vortex breakdowns. That's complicated stuff for spin-ups right along the front. And one of the models does suggest indeed that there may be a little bit of a swirling action going on down here over the next couple of days as it really hugs the coast of Honduras and Central America, but it probably really doesn't do more than that, if at that.
And this is one of the more bullish models, we'll say that. Not all of the models that we look at are saying that we'll have something that even this well formed.
I think that's right, and I think the general trend would be to head it that way, kind of close to the coast and then back inland. So overall, in the big picture, the long prospects, the overall prospects aren't real good, but we'll keep an eye on it just in case.
All right, Kate, back to you.
Thank you so much, Mark and Greg. Okay, so the hurricane season is in the home stretch. Later, we're going to recap the top 3 all-time hurricanes for October. But first, could this type of weather have your kids having to fight the weather during Halloween? Yeah, we're going to tell you who may have a trick rather than a treat.
Can this decadent fruit-top pastry with indulgent streusel crumble be from Fiber One? New Fiber One streusel.
Check.
Aha.
Energizer protects your devices from damaging leaks. Guaranteed.
Tomcat bait kills up to 12 mice, faster than Decon. What will we do with all of these dead mice? Tomcat presents Dead Mouse Theater.
Hey, old frick.
Hey, Ignore.
What's up with you?
Funny you ask. I'm actually here to pillage your town.
But we went to summer camp together.
Summer camp is over.
Tomcat. Engineered to kill.
Cooper engineers its tires not just for performance, but real life performance. So before you get in, get going. Get gone. You need to get a tire that gets you, because life's a road trip. Come on, let's go. Buy 4 qualifying Cooper tires and get up to a $70 prepaid card by mail. See retailer for details.
Here it is. This is where I met your grandpa. Right under this tree.
Some things are worth holding on to.
They're hugging the tree.
That's why we got a Subaru.
Was it that tree?
Introducing the all-new Subaru Outback. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Every day, thousands of people choose Nexium 24-hour for frequent heartburn.
I'd always wanted the protection of the purple pill. Now, I have it.
Get Nexium level protection. And for a limited time, save $6 at Nexium24hour.com.
Wow, this is what we're giving out?
Yep.
I love Kit Kat and Reese's candy.
Have fun trick-or-treating. Trick-or-treat!
Have a monstrously big Halloween with your favorite Hershey's candies. Walmart.
Americans drink 48 billion bottles of water every year. That's enough plastic bottles to stretch around the Earth 230 times. Each Brita filter can replace 300 of those. Clean, clear Brita water. Nothing is better.
Put on your thinking caps. Evaporation rate equals 700 times the mean temperature divided by 100 minus the latitude plus 15 times temperature minus dew point temperature divided by 80 minus temperature times millimeters per day. So easy, Sam. A caveman can do it. Got it? Great.
That is amazing.
Currently in our area, 80 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, mostly sunny. High 80. Winds north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, mainly clear. Low 67. Winds north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Monday, generally sunny. High 81. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
See the weather like never before.
Look at this. Listen to that.
Amazing starts here. The Weather Channel mornings.
See the rotation in the clouds and everything. There's a tornado forming right there.
Oh my God. At least 8 buildings are damaged. A number of homes.
Tree into a building.
Shingles flying everywhere.
Look at the wood being flung around.
But there's a bunch of debris flying around in the air.
This can't be real. We don't get tornadoes.
Yeah, well, you can get a tornado there, and you did.
Yeah.
And it's because of that, that low-level shear was really, really high and allowed that to spin up. Welcome back to Weather Center Live. I'm Kate Parker.
And I'm Mark Elliott. And as always, as you watch our show today, we want to see pictures of what you are up to. We ask for you to use the hashtag #YourWeekend on social media, Facebook, Twitter. We'll see them. And how about this shot in San Francisco?
Oh, it's a Giants fan, though, and you know that the Giants are in town playing against the Royals. Tied up in the series. We're going to see how tonight goes. We know one thing's for sure. Winds could be a little bit of a problem. The Pacific Northwest has been getting pounded with those, right, Mark?
Yeah, absolutely unreal. These winds, this series of storms that have crashed through the Pacific Northwest, getting rocked, right? Hurricane-force wind gusts. Guy out there in the park, for perspective on that tree. Yeah, there are still more than 66,000 customers without power across the Seattle area. Peak wind gusts in Seattle was 49 miles per hour, but this tree, I mean, a big, healthy tree, lots of leaves, a huge trunk just split. It's probably been there for decades upon decades. Now, as the storm came through, we can actually look at a time-lapse video from Mary's Peak in Oregon. It started out with blue sky, but then quickly went to a complete overcast, right? And then almost to no visibility at all as the heavy rain came through. Wind gusts across this area clocked in at 91 miles per hour. Now, granted, it wasn't that way the whole time, and eventually you got the winds to shift around as the storm moved by, and you get those clouds moving in a new direction. The sun came back out, and in between the storms, Mary's Peak is actually pretty nice, right? Look at it right now. It's not too bad for the visibility, and winds, 0. Yeah. 0 miles per hour right now on the anemometer. Now, we did certainly see a lot of winds from this storm. Look at Mary's Peak, 91, but it wasn't just there. Newport, 76, Cape Mears, 87, Vancouver Lake, 70, even further inland, well into the 60s for your mile per hour range. And you know what? We're going to continue to see these types of winds as this next storm comes on into play. So yes, we've got another very similar system on top of already the saturated ground. Seattle, you're almost a foot above average now, 36.44 inches of rain since January 1st. So more rain at this point for you, not necessarily a good thing. And you are in and out of the showers right now. There's no delays at the airport, but the winds are out of the south close to 20. So we certainly could have some delays popping up before the day is done. Portland is about to see some more rain coming on in from this cluster. The current rain is just on the south side of the Portland region. Now, as we time this rain out for you through the day, you'll see kind of these bands, these showers moving through. It won't be raining all day, but it won't exactly be nice all day either. And by the time we go through the overnight hours, we can start to see our next storm system showing up off the coast. And this is going to be our next big weather maker here in the Pacific Northwest. So, right, we've got one big dip in the jet stream that's going to pull away. Then our next system comes in, right? Here's our next area of low pressure, some tropical moisture from Ana, and it is going to be a doozy. This thing's going to really carve its way out in the jet stream. So it's what you see is what you get type forecast, right? This jet stream is going to be pulling in the moisture. We're going to see that funnel of tropical conditions move in. And again, it's not tropical as in warmth, it's tropical as in extra rainfall. And you're certainly going to have a very wound up low. So watch these wind gusts here, Kate. 35, then 40, then 50, then 60 miles per hour for those winds. So if the trees aren't down yet, they could be before this week is done. Over to you.
Oh, as if we didn't already have enough there, Mark. Okay, well, how about a beautiful look at some trees that don't have leaves on them? This is a look at Lake Michigan. Northwestern on the campus there. How gorgeous is that? Absolutely beautiful. Halloween storm, though. That's what we're talking about. What are the chances that we could see one? And how is this week shaping up for all those Halloween parties and costumes that you're planning for? Next cold front is bringing rain. This is out ahead of actual Halloween, but you don't need any more rain in Chicago this year. I mean, you are over 6¼ inches above average since January 1st. So you don't need any more rain. Unfortunately, you do have it in the forecast. Fortunately, you don't have it today. Today is beautiful. 57 degrees right now in Chicago. Traverse City, you're at 53 degrees. These temperatures, typically the average high temperatures that you see this time of year. So not a bad way to start your morning off and going into the afternoon. Then look at these dew points. This is where you need the chapstick, folks. You need to pull out that lotion. You need to pull out the chapsticks because a dew point of 26 means that the air is very dry. It means that it feels awesome, but a little bit actually on the cool side at times because of the lower dew point. If it were a little more moist, you would feel not quite as cool. It would feel even warmer in Chicago. So there's that moisture, though. It's heading your direction. The jet stream going to carry it across the basically northern plains as we go into the next couple of days. Then we see a low develop, and that cold front is going to be where we're going to be watching for some showers or possibly even some thunderstorms. That's also along the warm front with that low. So as that moves over the lakes, that's where we're going to be seeing that. But then look, see this blank area that's above the jet stream. Anytime we're north of the jet stream, especially this time of year, you're going to get those winds that bring in those cooler temperatures. So enjoy the warmth while you can. Here's what it looks like for tomorrow. You are going to see some showers for the upper peninsula of Michigan. Then all of Michigan tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms going down south into Indiana. Tomorrow you have some showers and thunderstorms. And then you'll notice if going into your Wednesday, that's where you have some rain making its way into the northeast and basically all of the East Coast. So we'll be monitoring that as well. Okay, so here's what your forecast looks like in Chicago. Monday may be in the 70s, but by the time you get to Tuesday, your high going to be around 60 degrees, much more seasonable. That cool air making its way south. So as we get that cooler air set in place, and then after this, late week, we get a next system in. It means that Halloween will be cooler and possibly even on the wet side. So we're going to monitor that rain forecast for you, but I do think that it's a pretty good bet to say that the highs are going to be closer to average and not in this beautiful, warm little break from fall that you're getting this weekend, Mark.
And Kate, we're continuing our trek east across the country. How about the end of October, meaning the beginning of marathon season? Look at this start. 30,000 of your closest friends in the Marine Corps Marathon running through the D.C. area, taking part today. And you know what? A big thank you to all the service members who are there or are serving here or abroad. We're all thinking of you on this marathon Sunday. Of course, the New York City Marathon is next weekend. And in the Northeast, here comes your last hurrah of warmth, right? October heat moving from the Midwest, where Kate was just showing us, in towards the eastern seaboard. We're in D.C. right now at 70 degrees, beautiful running weather. A little bit breezy, though, and believe it or not, those winds can certainly slow you down if they're like pointed right at you as you're running down the street. It is something that the runners have to keep in mind. 70 now in D.C., 64 in Philly, warming up to 61 now in New York City, where the clouds have been trying to kind of bend back towards the north a little bit and get a little bit more sunshine in there. That trend will continue through the rest of our afternoon. The northwest winds continuing here too. That's a cool wind direction, but that's only for now. We're going to see those winds really shift around as we go through the early portion of the week. Southerly winds kicking in, and what that is going to do is bring up the warmer air from the south. So when all is said and done here for the early portion of our week in the east, 10 to 15 degrees above average, which is substantial for this time of year. 80 in D.C. on Tuesday, 70 in New York City. By Wednesday, upper 60s to near 70 in Boston. That's 10 degrees above average for you. Norfolk, you'll be in the mid to upper 70s, also quite warm. So in D.C., 66, then all close to 70, then close to 80 before the cool down happens just in time for Halloween. Kate.
Okay, Mark, there's that cool down on the way. And up next on Weather Center Live, it's a driving danger that only happens this time of year. Fallen wet leaves on the road can make it feel like ice.
Currently in our area, 80 degrees under partly cloudy skies. This afternoon, sun and clouds mixed. High 80, winds northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, generally clear. Low 67. Winds north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Monday, abundant sunshine. High 81. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
When your house loses power, it can be tough for your family. But not if your family has a Kohler generator. Restores power automatically in as little as 10 seconds and is backed by a 5-year limited warranty. Kohler generators. Keep your family flowing.
When the power goes out, you'll go on. Contact your Kohler Generators dealer today.
The Dueler tires on Terrence Knighton's truck are engineered to be Bridgestone's best SUV tires, and now they have an 80,000-mile tread wear warranty.
Guess we're gonna be here a while.
First time on a treadmill?
What are you saying?
I'm just saying.
With an 80,000-mile tread wear warranty, the Dueler tires are Bridgestone's best SUV tires. Go to BridgestoneTire.com to find a Bridgestone dealer near you.
Hershey's Miniatures. Choosing is half the fun. Because there's a little something delicious for everyone. Hershey's Miniatures. Choose your own delicious.
What does an apron have to do with car insurance? An apron is hard work. An apron is pride in what you do. An apron is not quitting until you've made something a little better. What does an apron have to do with car insurance? For us, everything.
This man has an accomplished research and analytical group at his disposal. But even more impressive is how he puts it to work for his clients.
Morning. Good morning.
Thanks for meeting so early.
Oh, it's not a big deal at all. Come on in.
It's how Edward Jones makes sense of investing.
Under the roof of a home or business, damage can happen. When it does, turn to the specialists who put help in the palm of your hand. The Ready App and emergency response plans from 1-800-SERVPRO, like it never even happened.
Gorgeous Greens at your service.
Eat right, not less.
This looks interesting.
What's going on here?
Would you like to try some hot cereal? Special K Nourish Hot Cereal.
Special K. Wow. Wow.
Made with superfoods.
Superfoods sound good to me.
There's quinoa, barley.
I could definitely taste the quinoa. Good. I can't believe that's less than 200 calories.
To help you truly shine.
This is a way to be good to me.
Nurturing yourself. What will you gain?
Ring, ring. Progresso.
I can't believe I'm eating bacon-enriched creamy cheese before my sister's wedding.
Well, it's only 100 calories, so you'll be ready for that dress.
Uh-huh.
You don't love the dress?
I love my sister.
40 flavors, 100 calories or less.
We were flattered when Regenerist beat $100 cream. Flabbergasted when we creamed a $300 cream. For about $30, Regenerist Microsculpting Cream hydrates better than over 15 of America's most expensive luxury creams. Regenerist. Olay, your best beautiful.
It's Sunday, your day to unplug. With CenturyLink as your technology partner, our visionary cloud infrastructure and dedicated support free you to focus on what matters. CenturyLink, your link to what's next.
Here's some incredible video for you. Actually, that's not the incredible. I mean, it's incredible. It's beautiful. There's the video I'm talking about, though. Heavy rain causing massive flooding in Athens, turning roads into waterways. More than 5 inches of rain has fallen. And why is that? The remnants of Gonzalo, believe it or not. It's the hurricane that just won't give up. Emergency crews have pumped water out of at least 800 homes and businesses. It's estimated that more than 250 cars have been swept away. Back here at home, this week's nor'easter knocked leaves off the trees and onto the roads, and a Halloween week storm could also be coming. Meteorologist Chris Warren explains why leaves on the road this time of year, when they get wet, could be as dangerous as driving on ice.
Driving on wet roads is treacherous enough. Add leaves, and the results far worse. In the 10-year period from 2002 to 2012, 17% of all vehicle crashes involved wet pavement. And that 17% makes up most of the weather-related crashes.
Well, you wouldn't think about it, fall being so beautiful, but when those falling leaves hit the roadway, they can be very slick because it's something between your tires and the road surface. So what ends up happening is you actually create an icy condition,
making stopping extremely difficult. The biggest piece of advice?
But when it's raining or it's foggy, which we do have a lot of that type of weather this time of year, or leaves are falling on the roadway, especially in a heavy treed area, you want to give yourself twice the distance.
There's a definite science to figuring out what that distance should be. It has to do with the speed of the car and what's called the coefficient of friction. In other words, how much connection there is between the tires and the road. When it's wet and there are leaves, there is less friction and traction suffers. And that depends on many factors, including the road surface, the amount of leaves, and the amount of rain, along with tire treads. So let's look at an example. Driving on dry pavement at 40 miles an hour, it will take about 60 feet to stop safely, or about 4 car lengths. But now let's add in wet pavement and leaves. At the same 40 miles an hour, it will take about 150 feet to stop safely, equaling about 10 car lengths. And all conditions equal, every time you double your speed, the stopping distance quadruples. There are other hazards as well. Leaves covering the roads can mask potholes, bumps, or curbs. Car maintenance is important too. Check your tires and tire pressure, and replace windshield wipers every 6 months. But if you do find yourself sliding,
you always want to turn, not aggressively, but gently into the slide and add power. That will allow you to drive away from the situation.
Color Seekers have 31 states and 3,000 miles of roads to navigate. Throw in rain, and you must keep your distance. I'm meteorologist Chris Warren, the Weather Channel.
Yeah, you got to be extra careful. And if you are out there driving today, you want to know what the weather's going to look like on the road. So that's why we're going to go over to Mark with a look at our travel weather.
Yeah, we've been following in Seattle as another batch of rain is coming through. Still power outage problems there. About 66,000 customers in the Seattle region without power right now. So many of you might be hitting the roads to try to get to somewhere with power, but be careful out there. There will be some slick roads because of continued showers. We're also looking at Portland, at times steadier rain here right now on the south side of town, but there's another batch that's going to be moving on in. So at times a steady rain with some steady wind. High profile vehicles, you need to use some extra care there as well. So if you're trying to find the better roads, you could head towards the east. How about I-90 in Buffalo? Maybe a couple of sprinkles, but overall this will be okay. You'll also be traveling fine through Cleveland and on your way towards Chicago. Sunny skies, no issues there at all. We can jump down towards the southeast, and if you're traveling through Nashville today on 24 or 440 or 40, you'll be fine here too. A mixture of sun and clouds, and the best news for all these car travel reports is that gas is at a 5-year low, so it'll cost you a little bit less for that end of weekend road trip. Kate, over to you.
That's some good news, Mark. Well, Anna still kicking up waves in the Pacific, and it could be heading toward Alaska next. Your tropical update is coming up right around the corner, but first, we're counting down the top 3 October hurricanes. We're going to tell you our #1 worst in October. And bears, yeah, we're talking about them moving into where the folks are in Yosemite. That's coming up next.
The wish we wish above all is health. So we quit selling cigarettes in our CVS pharmacies, expanded Minute Clinic for walk-in medical care, and created programs that encourage people to take their medications regularly. Introducing CVS Health, a new purpose, a new promise to help all those wishes come true. CVS Health, because health is everything.
naturally moisturizing flavors of Burt's Bees Lip Balm.
Tonight at 10. The Weather Channel unravels nature's darkest secrets.
I saw something. I don't know how to explain it.
Every Sunday.
It's a story that's got a life of its own.
A new tale of weather legend.
It may have just looked like a storm, but they were dealing with something far worse.
American Supernatural. Tonight at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 80 degrees under partly cloudy skies. This afternoon, sun and clouds mixed. High 80, winds northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, generally clear. Low 67. Winds north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Monday, abundant sunshine. High 81. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
When he first joined the Army, I was very nervous.
We didn't know what they would have him doing. But Bobby always had a plan.
With unmatched training in over 150 careers beyond the battlefield, there are over 150 surprising ways to become Army strong. Talk to your son or daughter about opportunities in the Army.
Let's take these piggies out for new carpet. No, not those. These. Let's get in touch with texture. Something with a twist. Let's look at loops and get a feel for patterns in all sorts of colors. But let's not break the bank. Then, let's get it rolled out right. The perfect carpet? Yeah. Let's bring it all the way home. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Schedule a measure today. Carpet installation is now just $37.
A party?
Hi, I'm new Ensure Active Clear Protein Drink.
Clear, huh? My nutritional standards are high.
I'm not juice or fancy water. I've got 8 grams of protein.
Twist my lid. That's 3 times more than me.
17 vitamins and minerals.
And 0 fat.
You'll bring a lot to the party.
Yay! New Ensure Active Clear Protein. 8 grams protein, 0 fat, 17 vitamins and minerals, and delicious blueberry pomegranate and mixed fruit. Take life in.
Since 1902, Carrier has been inventing new ways to make people comfortable. And today, comfort can also mean efficiency. Because being more efficient with your home heating can mean spending less on it. And that's something everyone can get comfortable with. If you're ready for Carrier Comfort, now you can get cool cash rebates of up to $1,450 on a new system. Carrier, turn to the experts.
What do you mean homeowners insurance doesn't cover floods?
A few inches of water caused all this?
But I don't even live near the water.
What you don't know about flood insurance may shock you, including the fact that a preferred...
Now, with the Xfinity TV Go app, you can watch live TV anytime. It's never been easier, with so many networks all in one place. Get live TV whenever you want. The Xfinity TV Go app, now with live TV on the go. Enjoy over Wi-Fi or on Verizon Wireless 4G LTE. Plus, now you get up to a $100 prepaid card when you purchase any new Verizon Wireless smartphone or tablet from Comcast. Visit Comcast.com/wireless to learn more.
Before the intervention, before I went to rehab, when it got really out of hand, I was calling out of work. I wasn't coming home. My husband and I were arguing. My responsibility to my business, to my clients, and to others just went completely out the door.
That's when we knew we had to do something. We needed to all jump in, and my son felt confident that this person could help, and he did. Since her intervention, she's an absolute delight, and I can't stop smiling when I see her.
If someone you know is struggling with drug or alcohol addiction, please call or visit us at interventionnow.com.
428-1000.
Dinovite.com. DINOVITE.com.
If you miss Tonight on the Weather Channel, you'll never know how twisted weather can be. Wicked Weather Sundays, tonight at 9, only on the Weather Channel.
Well, hurricane season beginning to wind down, but there's still about a month to go. And we are counting down the top 3 October hurricanes on record.
Yeah, last hour we showed you number 2 on the list, the 1950s hurricane. Now, senior hurricane specialist Brian Norcross reveals which hurricane tops the list.
This storm was the strongest hurricane ever so far north and produced the strongest winds ever recorded at the Battery in New York City. I bet you're thinking Hurricane Sandy, but it's not. Hurricane Hazel decimated nearly 200 miles of the North and South Carolina coastline. And to this day, it's the benchmark storm for North Carolina. Winds gusted to 100 miles per hour or more from Virginia to New York, knocking out power for millions. So one of the great storms of the 20th century, Hurricane Hazel, is our number 1 October hurricane from 60 years ago this month. But what about our most recent October monster, Superstorm Sandy? More than 1,000 miles across, Sandy pushed record storm surge against the Northeast coast 2 years ago and did more than $60 billion in damage, the second highest total of any storm in history. But Sandy technically was not a hurricane at landfall. It had morphed into more of a nor'easter. So technically, Sandy does not make our list. So Hurricane Hazel from 1954 is the number 1 October hurricane. I'm Senior Hurricane Specialist Brian Norcross.
Thank you, Brian. Yeah, Hazel was quite a doozy there. So time now for our tropical update because October can still be dangerous.
Yeah, so we're watching the waters, and hurricane specialist Dr. Greg Postel's in the lab watching them too. Doc.
Yeah, thanks, guys. You know, we do have a post-tropical storm Ana in the Pacific that is kind of turning into just a big old low-pressure system out there, but it's going to bring impacts into the Pacific Northwest in a couple of days. Let's have a look at it right now. Very clearly, it's kind of just looks like a generic low-pressure system, kind of indistinguishable from a lot of other cloud features out there. But this was once a hurricane not long ago with still 60-mile-per-hour winds and on a track in that direction, heading generally toward southern Canada. Here's the Central Pacific Hurricane Center's track, the cone from there. They're not really forecasting tropical development along that cone, but they're doing this to highlight the fact that a wind bag in association with another low pressure system is kind of moving in that direction. So be prepared for a little extra kick in that storm that's moving in from the Pacific North. Let's have a look at some of these wind gusts out here on Tuesday morning. We've got estimated wind gusts of over 60 miles per hour in some of the higher elevations up that way. A little bit less, of course, as you head closer to the ground, but still, this system, which now is very clearly on satellite, lurking out here in the North Pacific Ocean, is going one direction, and we can track it as it kind of evolves into one giant piece of energy in the jet stream. There it is off the coast and about ready to trigger low pressure development on Tuesday and a cold front that will bring some mountain snows, some high winds, and some heavy rain, guys. Watch out for that. Elsewhere in the tropics overall, it's relatively quiet. Back to you.
Thanks, Doc. And we're going towards Yosemite National Park. Park rangers there saying that bears are coming into the populated areas again, all because of California's drought.
Not the bears.
No.
The bears.
The actual bears.
Yeah, the actual bears. Take a live look now at Yosemite National Park. The search for food and water is on for these bears, and so they are heading into new territory that humans have taken over.
Yeah, so it's theirs originally, but we've kind of made our way through with campgrounds and hiking grounds, and we have food with us a lot of times, and so the bears are adapting to that and coming very close.
Those encounters up 35%.
Yeah.
35%. Here's the forecast for Yosemite. Oh, looking gorgeous the next couple of days.
Prospectors coming up next, but stay with us as severe weather strikes. We'll jump back on, and one last check of the radar in a minute.
Currently in our area, 80 degrees under partly cloudy skies. this afternoon. Sun and clouds mixed. High 80. Winds northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, generally clear. Low 67. Winds north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Monday, abundant sunshine. High 81. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Here's our 7-day outlook.
One last check of the radar is showing a fairly tranquil pattern. We start in the northeast corridor where we have persistent northwest flow coming off the lake. So believe it or not, this is lake effect or lake enhanced rain shower activity. Give it a couple months, we'll be talking about lake effect snows here, but not yet. The Capital District is seeing some light rain. Then we do the big pogo off to the other side of the country. The Pacific Northwest is also seeing onshore flow, so some enhancement there because of the ocean. And so we're seeing some rains mostly on the south side of Portland, but you'll see those shower bands moving back in. Seattle, you're about to see another round of rain come up towards you. Tacoma as well. Right on through the sound, you're seeing that rain. Now, there's another system off the coast, and as we go into Monday, into Tuesday, the wind will be another huge factor here. Winds 50, even 60 miles per hour sustained. Gusts could then get even higher at times. It is going to be very blustery across the Pacific Northwest with a lot of rain too, so more tree damage is a potential. Prospectors starts right now.
Next on Prospectors.
Damn it. This kind of pisses me off.
The season heats up as outsiders invade the claims.
Hey! Stop digging! Son of a...
Jeez. Please be careful.
Amanda Adkins digs on a dangerous spot.
Oh, my God. Be careful.
Rock! Oh! It's perfect, Dad.
And the Doris family makes an amazing find.
If we put an Amazonite with it, I don't know, 50 grand?
Dad? Oh, my God!
They're Rocky Mountain treasure hunters.
Oh, look at that, look at that. It's Jimmy.
Looking to strike it rich.
Yes.
But the quest for gems comes at a cost. Weather, rock slides, and greed make this a deadly gamble.
Take cover!
They are the extreme fortune seekers known as prospectors.
I think you're looking up more in the $250,000 range.
Holy cow!
On Mount Antero in the Colorado Rockies, there's only one road that snakes up the mountain. It's a narrow one-lane haul over gut-punching rock that's broken axles, engine mounts, and countless spirits. Most people crawl up it at 5 miles an hour. But prospector Steve Brancato is not most people. Steve has returned to the mountain with a vengeance, determined to redeem himself. Steve pulled about $40,000 retail value in minerals last year, but only $1,500 of that was from Mount Antero.
I ain't playing with you, Mountain. I'll take you down to 10,000 if I have to.
I think it makes a statement about how much I love the mountain that I'm even back up here after last year's financial disaster of the season. But I'm hoping that Antero shows me what I know she's got in her this year.
At 12,500 feet, Steve's reached as far as the ATV will take him. From this point, it's a 20-minute hike to reach last year's campsite.
The commute is pretty tough, but it beats getting hit by a semi on the Long Island Expressway. I mean, people think I'm nuts for being up here doing what I'm doing. I think they're flipping crazy to be slaves under fluorescent lights for 35 years. I get to live my insanity out up here, and it kind of makes me one of the saner people that I know.
"60 miles away in Lake George.
Look at all that green.
I love that color. I love it.
the Doris family is mining a completely different mineral zone. One that produces amazonite, fluorite, and smoky quartz.
You got it? I don't either. All right. Watch the feet.
They're continuing to pull world-class crystals out of a pocket they unearthed a few days ago.
Color's just insane. Look at this piece. Just gorgeous. Just gorgeous.
And today, they have an important visitor, Mark Pospisil from the Ross Perot Museum of Nature and Science in Dallas.
Look at this. I mean, that's just incredible. You see these pieces at shows or you see them in museums, and you never get the sense of what it really takes to find one of these things and see it come out of the ground. So amazing. Look at the faces on that.
Joe is hoping to whet Mark's appetite for more amazonite.
Mark has heard rumor of an outstanding discovery, so he's out here to get a first-hand look at what we're doing.
The discovery was the Icon pocket from last year. Valued at over $500,000, it was found less than 15 feet from this current pocket.
It's going to explode. There's one.
Our hope today is to continue on that pocket, and instead of it pinching out, it exploding into a giant cavity with really great crystals.
That is color, people. Isn't that just awesome?
That is blue.
This is unbelievable.
He's pulling out another one, too.
Holy cow, look at the size of that thing. Oh, yeah. This one's an easy fit.
I think it's going to be a $5,000 rock.
I mean, if I saw that piece for $5,000, I would be running to the ATM in a heartbeat. If the Icon pocket piece is as good as it has been described, we will do everything we can to secure the piece, to have it at our museum.
He's trying to grow faster than he should. He's getting too big too fast, huh?
In Colorado Springs, Amanda Adkins is enjoying her last morning at home with her kids before heading up to spend a week mining on Mount Antero.
No going outside without Haley or Caleb, okay? What do you say?
Thank you.
No. Mining season is the hardest part of my year. I am away from my kids a lot. I miss them, and I know they miss me. But I get all the digging done during mining season, and I get to spend all winter with my kids. I'll miss y'all.
Amanda has been the sole support for her 7 kids since her husband died of leukemia over a year ago.
It was much easier when he was alive because he could help with the kids. You just got to keep going. You have to make it work, and you can't drop the ball. You just can't.
Hey, but there's Mom.
Well, there's my ride to the mountains, guys.
All right, bye, Mom.
Love you guys. Oh, man, it hurts to say goodbye. I miss them, and I know they miss me when I'm gone. Hold down the fort. I love you guys. But there's always that thought in the back of my mind that, you know, the danger of the job I do, I might not get to come back. So every goodbye's got to count.
On the east side of Mount Antero, right below treeline, 42-year-old Steve Brancato has returned to his base camp for the first time this season. And there's been unwanted visitors.
It looks like a bear or something.
After a little more investigation, it's clear that it wasn't just a bear invading Steve's camp.
It's not my sleeping bag. It looks like the animals haven't really strewn anything around, but there were some people camping down there. Teen Bible. Some of my goals are to make it up the mountain, learn a lot during this trip, and to get along with the people around me. That's funny. Those are my goals, too. Oh, son of a... Somebody dug out my tiki torches. Who would take my tiki torches? That's so weird. Why would they take my tiki torches?
60 miles away in Lake George.
Come on, buddy.
Rich Freddard and his friend Richard Kawamoto are in search of fluorite.
This is what I call a mental health day.
Yeah, it's a good day.
Awesome. A character like me, I need a mental health day every day. I think we got the makings of a hot pocket, and I hope that it pans out. Now all I have to do is just go dig.
Hey, Rich, look down there. There's somebody down there.
Where?
Look to the right a little bit off that little rise. The guy in a blue shirt.
Damn it. This kind of pisses me off. Come out here to enjoy yourself.
Rich owns the mineral rights to the land. Hikers can cross the claim, but not dig.
I catch someone digging on my claim, I'm not going to be happy about it. This is serious, and they're going to know I'm not happy. Hey! Hey! What are you doing there?
Sign up today for AutoZone Rewards and earn store credit that'll come in handy. For your next project, spend $20 or more 5 times and earn $20 store credit. Visit AutoZone.com/rewards.
良質熟練の技革新1000年の歴史を持つ文化が最先端の製造技術を使うと待てよあれこれってクライスラー
Reliability is now an American thing. Introducing the all-new Chrysler 200, America's import.
This is Kathleen. Setting up the perfect wedding day starts with her minor arthritis pain and 2 pills. Afternoon arrives and feeling good, but her knee pain returns. That's 2 more pills. The evening's event brings laughter, joy, and more pain.
What's that, like 6 pills today?
Yeah. I can take 2 Aleve for all-day relief.
Really?
For my arthritis pain, I now choose Aleve.
2 pills, all day strong, all day long. And now, introducing Aleve PM for a better AM.
If you have high blood pressure like I do, many cold medicines may raise your blood pressure. That's why there's Coricidin HBP. It relieves cold symptoms without raising blood pressure. So look for powerful cold medicine with the heart, Coricidin HBP.
Apples are good. As Strongbow Hard Cider, better. But Strongbow over ice is the best. Enjoying Strongbow over ice with your slow-motion horse? The bestest.